Welcome back, guys.
Welcome back.
For another episode of Salt
Sauna.
Soul. All right. So today's topic we want to discuss is natural ways to reclaim focus and energy.
Yes.
Cool. What are your thoughts on the topic to start off with there?
I think this is a great topic because it really will help us center on like micro rituals. And I think we can each bring different viewpoints on micro rituals that we have started to incorporate into our day to day and hopefully help people get ideas on how they could also benefit from doing a little bit of self-care as part of their everyday journey.
Agree. And so I think to give everybody a little bit of a framework or whatever, something to work around as we talk about these different subjects, right? Is like, how do you place some of the techniques or approaches in certain buckets, right? How to think about it. One, I would say we should think about it kind of in mind-body synergy. How well your mind and your body really are working in tandem with each other. Possibly how we listen to our body or listen to our mind and knowing what each one need at different times and then change our behavior to address those different needs. Another one is, which I think they all kind of like one thing leads to another, which is like your foundational lifestyle habits. Right?
So what are you doing on the day to day
right?
in order to make sure you are having a lifestyle that helps keep you synergistic?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Right? And knowing that you have some core things, which you really, really do, right? I'm going to touch on that, these core things. And then there's some things where it just kind of, it will fluctuate as needed, as we kind of talked about before. And then last thing is like, we should really kind of also discuss, this is more of like a warning, the difference between the techniques that you would do, that one would do, versus the toxic overload, right? In order to manage, or we thinking that we get into that synergetic state, but there's some things that are kind of toxic. Like one of mine is just, sometimes I kind of like just scroll on Instagram like crazy. And now I'm finding just holding that damn phone so long in my hand starting to give me problems with my hand. And so it's like, it's impacting like my health, just holding this damn thing. But I look at it so much, but it's my way like to decompress and relax. And it's like, I've been realizing I need to find another way to get to that mind-body synergetic than that. That's toxic for me. So let's go ahead and take it from there.
Let's do it. Okay,
I gave some framework.
We've already poured our tea, so cheers, dear.
Yes, from Everly Teas. It's wonderful. That ancient calm.
Yes.
Next
I'm really digging the different blends.
Yes.
Now.
Next, I want to try Bright Bloom from them.
Say that 3 times fast.
Bright. Don't do that to me. Don't. Bright Bloom. Yes. You so not right for that. You saw me struggling.
Yeah. Okay, so let's.
Okay.
Where? Okay, so where should we start?
I think some of it's like the mind-body synergy. Let's define that. Let's use that to define, and then we go from the next one, which is the foundation or whatever, and then go into some of the techniques.
Okay.
So let's think about like that,
so
right?
Mind-body synergy. So when I think about mind-body synergy, I would say that it's, are you mentally clear? Let me take a step back. So a lot of now kind of like topics that you may see in the social digital sphere is around, journaling for purpose and understanding your purpose and blah, 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 purpose. And so I think really when you just kind of boilerplate that, it's is your mindset in the right spot that it needs to be in to achieve whatever it is you're trying to achieve at the moment?
Okay.
Which may eventually lead to something greater where you have those epiphanies of, I was really put here to do X, Y, and Z.
Okay.
But in this moment, do you have the mindset that is needed to do the things that you need done? So that's the mind part. Then, do you have the physical capacity to do the things that need to get done?
Mm-hmm.
And so, when our minds aren't functioning at, optimal, or for every individual, then it could impact your body's ability to function. So, and you may, wind up getting sicker. You may feel, extra lethargic, things of that nature. And then vice versa. When we're injured, it does impact our mental state because we know mentally we could be doing so much more. But for some reason, physically right now, I can't do it.
Yeah, like an athlete is saying, like, oh my God, I tore my ACL and I
like
recovered, but then now I'm trying to play and I just can't seem to
get over that.
And then it's affecting my confidence and when I make this type of move or that. And I see exactly what you're talking about.
So there
in
is
terms of that.
Definitely, I think, a tie between the two.
Now, I want to ask something that at first I thought it would be just a totally different take. My perspective on just the concept of mind-body synergy. Now that you explained it, I chew on it, it might be more of a compliment, right? And so when I think of mind-body synergy, and it's more about the communication between the two, right? And then at times meeting the needs of the two, much like your last note about how the mind, body, and affect things, but like meeting that in order to address the other. So sometimes it's like, for example, I'm gonna use this morning, right? I was feeling some aches and pains or whatever in my neck and in my back, and the thing about it was, and then I eventually did a salt treatment and a sauna treatment, I felt better, but that was the root of that was stress. Feeling stressed, anxious, and overwhelmed. I've been doing a lot trying to reach our new goals. We've hired new people, trying to, reformat the podcast and trying to really, and I feel some of it's by what we're doing, but some of it's self-imposed like pressure of trying to meet the moment, be the person of this moment. And although I didn't necessarily feel it in my body, like, oh my God, I'm so stressed, I feel burnt out, and I just whatever, I've been feeling it in my body. But after I did the sauna treatment, which is going to the second point about the foundation of your lifestyle habits. But doing that technique, I was like, oh my God. Once I did it, I was like, oh, my mental improved for today. Right? And then now my body, I don't feel the same aches and pains. My shoulder blades are not feeling tight. My mid back is not giving me whatever, a woosah. And I was like, oh, I just thought I was sleeping wrong or laying not right. I thought it was all physical. And it was like, no, it's mental that is affecting my physical. But part of it is I need to sometimes address the physical to get to my mental. And sometimes you need to take the mental to get to your physical and stuff like that. That's how I see it. Like sometimes you have to say, hey, you know what? It's stress, which is my mental, but let me fix the issue with my body. So I even can have the bandwidth to realize it's my mental.
It's
but being able to, and what is it, is really read it. That's why I'm really talking about more of being able to assist and read that, to know that, okay, something is off, but let me try this approach to that. And that this interconnected. And so there's that synergy of that. And then ideally I'm using it more of addressing an issue, but oftentimes, which I think you do a much better job at it, you do it proactively so that it can some things don't become an issue. because the synergies are, if I feed this here, I don't have issues here.
Mm-hmm. That okay,
right?
yeah, that
and
is
so
true.
you do a forward thinking text. So it kind of gives way to number 2, so which is some of the foundational techniques and that we talked about. So I'm gonna hand it over to you
So
because
from a foundational technique. So I agree. Yes, that symbiotic relationship between the two, and sometimes it's if you can recognize what is the actual issue, you can use the other in order to help correct it.
Mm-hmm.
So foundational techniques. So as you said, I don't want to say my whole existence, but
listen to this. This is tea. Look at this. Okay.
I mean,
No,
so
I'm listening.
I've said it before. Now I've said this before. My goal is to be a woman of leisure. That is that's my purpose. That's
your purpose.
Yes, to be a woman of leisure. Now that does not mean I don't help others or anything of that nature or whatnot. But it is to experience the relaxation, the calmness, the beauty of life. That is why I have been put here. I've come to that. I'm holding on to that. I've been put here to experience
The
life's beauty and wonders. And that does not mean, I got a new Birkin bag, or I do not own a Birkin bag. I don't even own a Chanel bag. So no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about experiencing the beauty of life. And that to me is a woman of leisure. It's just I'm here and I'm having a good time. That's what's happening. I'm having a good time. And so in order to make sure we're having, now I'm like, I had a South Park episode. It's like, you're going to have a bad time. Pizza, French fry.
Okay.
Somebody out there knows what I'm talking about.
Because I don't watch South Park, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I've watched every episode. Anyway, having a good time. So, because I did my pizza French fry. So, in order to do that and to maintain that mind-body synergy, yes, I do some things proactively. And then sometimes I do it because I know I feel myself kind of going, I don't say over the edge, but I'm having, like how you had the stress moments. So I'm having my stress moments. It's like I gotta actually do a couple extra things. So my normal leisurely woman of leisure day, my ideal morning is I get to lay in bed for a little while. My wonderful, absolutely loving husband brings me a nice cup of coffee, and I'm like, ooh. Then I get my morning hug, cuddle session, because release those you get the serotonin, endorphins going. Hugging is a wonderful thing, if you did not know that. So you get my morning hug in, and then I get to sit there, and then I do my puzzles, because sharp mind is a good mind. So I do my puzzles, and then I'll get up, and I'll do some stretching. I'll actually pick a yoga session to do, or I'll just do some stretching. Then I might do my red light session, make sure my collagen is getting woken up for the day. If I've woken up with a little bit of sinus going on, I might do a salt session, a quick sauna session. And then after all of that, it is time to start my day. So then I can get myself showered, do my makeup, put some clothes on, get to the studio, have a nice time in the studio, maybe run a couple errands, and then come home. That to me, so you see, I still, there's work in there. There's, interaction with people. Maybe I've gone to a networking thing or something, but it's that the leisure part is having the ability to have time to do my self-care micro rituals in order to help ease myself into the rest of the outside world.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me is a foundational lifestyle habit that, like, if that doesn't get to happen, I start to feel like how you said with the stress in the shoulders, and then it's like, oh my goodness. The other day, this past week, mine was stress in my hips.
Mm-hmm.
And my pelvis hip bones, one sits a little bit higher than the other, and so it will sometimes kind of shift out of place, which then has my back starts to tighten.
Mm-hmm.
So earlier in the week, I noticed it, I think Sunday. So Monday morning, I did a hip opening yoga session.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did red light treatment, and it helped a little bit. Then Tuesday, I did another yoga treatment, and I tried to roll out with like a lymphatic roller that has like the little spiky knob things on it. And I was rolling out my back and my hip, trying to get those muscles to kind of relax. And then I also did the front side because, you got front and back of your hips.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to do that, and that kind of helped a little bit. Then Wednesday, I have my chiropractic appointment because, again, foundation, lifestyle habits. Chiropractic for me is a foundational habit. I am a person, again, that my body tends to like to get out of alignment, so I need to get popped back into alignment. Went to the chiropractor, told him the issue. He was like, yep, your hip is out of alignment, so we'll go ahead and get that back in. You may need to ice.
Mm-hmm.
Did my vibration plate while I was at the chiropractor to help set my alignment. I started to feel some relief. And then, so that was Wednesday. Thursday, I did another yoga session to help make sure. I did the hip opening one again to make sure I was able to keep my hips in alignment.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had a massage session, which I didn't even tell my guy. And he my back was still a little bit tight, so the lower back, so he worked on that kind of well.
Mm-hmm.
And then after my massage, I went and had a Reiki session. So then I got the mental part, my energy flow through my entire body. Had a Reiki session, made sure all my chakras are clear, which it was an intense session, y'all. And so this morning I woke up and I have no pain in my hip now.
Good.
So foundational things that I do, it was like I had to figure out when I could schedule them in. Because I do. I'm like, I'm a girl that'll go get her massage. I'm a girl that'll go get her chiropractor. I'm a girl that'll get her Reiki done. So, yes, I do all of these things, and I consider them things that will help me stay in alignment.
Yes.
And feel my best. And it's like when stuff starts to get off, and all of it was just stress.
Yeah.
It was just stress. Because there was nothing wrong with me, but it was like the stress over time was like making my body like tighten up. And so it's like, and sometimes, my morning yoga session isn't enough. So it's like, okay, let's go do a couple extra things to make sure, knock it out.
So there's a couple of things I heard in that, right? Obviously, there's some things that are they're scheduled, routine, regular.
Yes.
Right? It's built in, much like a foundational piece, right, to your lifestyle. But also lifestyle, and so yes, when we think about foundation, it's just like what I do every single day or every week at set time, regular intervals, and so forth. Then another thing is saying I heard of there are these additional things like Reiki that I may not do every single week. I may not even do it every month, but I know that they are financial, that I can basically pick something off the shelf and say, hey, it's time for me to do this. It's time for me to use that. And that's part of the canon of the overall, you know what I'm saying, wellness, to get the mind and body synergy back in alignment. And then the other part I heard, which I kind of also want to address real quick, that I can see someone listening to this and be like, that seemed like a lot of money, right? A lot of money and a lot of time. And I may not have that money and all that time in order to do that. That this what you proposing, how you described it for you, right? Seemed like out of my reach. It sounds wonderful, but I can't do it, right? And so I want to quickly, really for myself, and interject something to address that. If that is what someone may have heard and all of that.
Which, it can sound that way, because people be like, I got a kid, I got to go to school,
Yes.
I got mom, I got to pick up and take her to the doctor, and do this and that. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm going to talk about some of the foundational things that I do that is cheap, low budget.
Wait a minute.
What? As well.
Okay, but before, can I just say, the yoga practices I did this week, they were only 10 minutes long.
Yes.
They were not. I didn't go to like core power yoga or whatever.
Okay.
I did 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Let me say in defense too.
And my doctor, chiropractor, check your insurance coverage.
I was about to say that.
Okay, you go.
She was like, I got to defend myself.
I got to defend.
You don't have to defend.
Wait a minute.
One is, some of these things that seems very expensive, they aren't.
They aren't.
They aren't.
They are not.
Right? So, like she said, in terms of the yoga, she do it in the house, right? It's not that you go to a particular facility and you pay another membership fee and all the above. She do it in her home. That is just about time and devoting the time to do it. Maybe it's not full body, maybe it's just a certain, small sequence of exercises. Everyone can kind of, at some point, a couple of times out of the week, carve out that time to do so. If you got a TV and slightly an open space and a mat, you can do it yourself.
Yes.
Right?
Plenty of free things on YouTube.
So that's one. Two, like she said with the chiro. Actually, I didn't routinely go to a chiropractor until the last few years. And honestly, I go, as well once a week. And so see what your health insurance and other things will cover and pick up, whether it's a percentage or the whole entire thing.
Wait, one more thing on the chiropractor. If you don't have health insurance, because there are some people out there that don't, there are health savings cards that you could also use. If you find a chiropractor in your local area, sometimes if you do have issues, they will work with you on ways that you can pay.
Options,
you have to pay out of pocket for it. So do check with your local areas chiropractors, especially like the private practices over the some of the franchise ones.
Yes.
They are, because a lot of the private ones are really trying to, it's like they're there to help the community.
And that cost is also relates to frequency. And so if you play some things or adjust with frequency, maybe it's every other week or whatever, just some things to keep in mind. There are ways to kind of get some of that. Also, like if you're doing stuff like with the Reiki, that's been once a month kind of deal. So, whatever that expenditure is, let's say it's less than $100.
It is.
Once a month, is something that I think most people can kind of plan, save for, squirrel away for. So monetarily, there's some things that is like, you can figure it out. It may require some work, but I'm also going to give you some things that I do. One, I do a lot of work and wear and tear on my hands and on my feet, right? Some of that is just years long from physical activities and work. Some of it's from personal training. Some of it's now sometimes I am harvesting, then I'm designing, then I'm doing a lot of stuff with the computer and typing. So I'm working my hands sometimes, ridiculous, or I'm doing some artwork. So like they never really fully get a chance to like rest like normal. So I find myself that I have to do, instead of doing a full body cold plunge, because I do that much work or whatever, that I will once a day, or once every other day, literally plunge it in ice water, right, for about 10 to 15 minutes to get some of that inflammation out. Sometimes my hand is swelling. You can tell when you can't move your hands aren't articulate as freely and it's feeling kind of stiff. So it's like, let me plunge in some ice, get the inflammation out. Same thing with my feet, and that just speed up the recovery, healing, expedite, and it's cheap, right? Mm-hmm. Just a bucket, bowl, or whatever, and the ice that you have in your kitchen. Another thing is, for me, is finding better ways to decompress that I just necessarily find fun. And so one of the things that I have to do for my mental is that I like to do things that are maybe have multiple steps, but it doesn't require for me to do high level thinking. So in a weird way, sometimes washing dishes or doing some woodworking, some of these things is just because I can kind of just mindlessly do it. But I put on some music or a podcast, something that I personally enjoy, even though it annoys the hell out of her. It's like, why you got these headphones on around the house? When I try to talk to you, I can't talk to you. But it's like, this is my world. This is my bubble where I'm listening to what I want to listen to, that I enjoy. And for me, I'm kind of a little weird. It may be some political stuff. It may be some financial thing. It may be something that's high level. But it's like, I just listen to it because I find enjoyment in like learning. Right, and exploring different things, and no, I'm not about to go out here and get a political science degree. And so I want to learn these things without actually having to go back to school. And it's fun, but I also can just move freely and get other things done, because for me, I also get great mental reward out of a sense of accomplishment and hitting some goals. And so if I have like a whole bunch of tasks, it actually makes me feel really good to complete a task. Sometimes with those tasks, saying I can do it if they can be mindless or whatever. So it's like, oh, let's mop the floor or wax the floor or whatever. It's a task on my list, but I do it in a way that it's enjoyable for me and get me in a better peace of mind. And it's not stressful that way. It's not overwhelming that way. And I don't have to be so meticulous and think about and strategize. And I don't know if it's the right or left brain can really work. So there's some things that I personally do. I know in the past I used to like, hey, let me just do, like a weekend getaway, right? I drive to the next state and just stay in a hotel room for 2 days, right? By myself, where I just I know the distance from my life allow me to feel it's okay for me to detach from it. The more I stay like around, it's really kind of harder for me to not think of, oh, I should do this and I got this to do and that. Let me hop on this laptop. Let me go ahead and run this errand. And it's like sometimes just going like literally away, not too far, not for long stretches of time. Sometimes even for a day. It's like I just run to see a buddy. How you doing? Whatever, right? You see me do it with Randall. I go and see Randall, kick it with him for like a day and a half, and come back, and it resets me because it allowed me to escape from it, because I'm not built to have my work or my tasks in so close proximity and still detach from it when I feel the looming pressure of there's still things need to be done. I'm just not built that way. And so I guess I want to get into this last point about the techniques. That's really more of a technique than it is about like a full habit. Because the toxic thing that I do now, because I don't do it that much as much anymore, like get away, I just scroll. I like hold on, like
the doom scroll is so real.
And it'd be like cool stuff and design, whatever, but still, it's just I'm holding this thing in my hand, and I don't think your hand is designed for you to be shaped like this for 4, 5, 6 hours every single day. And then now I feel like my hand trying to lock up and...
You know what that's from? That's her? was it Jim Carrey, The Claw. It was from what movie was that? Liar Liar. Claw. It's a claw.
Yeah, and so I kind of want us to point out, as we wrap up and move on to our next segment, which is like salty questions real quick, but let's just kind of like, is there some...
We're not going to spend time on toxic overload, other toxic overload? There are so many toxic overload.
Let's run through it. Let's run through it real quick.
Okay, so techniques. We said yoga includes also meditation, you know, visiting your chiropractor, getting your doctor's appointments in, being outside.
Yeah, you do a lot of grounding stuff, which I need to start doing more grounding things.
Yes, and my Reiki practitioner reminded, she's like,
walk in the grass
you need to go and stand outside, because apparently I was not grounded when she did me. Anywho, so yes, grounding, very important. Actually taking time to, you know, physical appearance, like, you know, if you put on something nice, you'll start to feel like, hey,
Yes. And especially for my guys.
Yeah.
Actually, I was like, man, I need to spend some time and I need to shop. And I was like, I wanted some more jewelry, you know what I'm saying, rings or like bracelets or whatever. And just doing the work and like, you know what, I'm going to run around or look online and devote the time to do so, you know, because those are things I just kind of like and preference. And
it's like your favorite color, like wearing if you feel kind of blah, pull out your favorite color, put your favorite color on. It'll help get you back in a nice mental space. So those are techniques, some toxic overloads, things what we're not supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
The doom scrolling. Yeah, don't do it. I did that this morning, and then I had to stop myself. I was like, why am I looking at this stuff? Mm-hmm. Yes, we all know there's stuff happening across the globe. Things that are happening even here that some people may not be for. Yes, it is there, but how much time and energy do you want to put towards that?
Yes.
Because where you put your energy is where energy will go.
Yes.
So if you're sitting there fretting about what XYZ is doing, all your energy is going to be signaling out that, hey, this fret, which then what you put out is what you attract. So your fret, all you're going to see is more fret. So yes, we acknowledge that these things are happening, even if we don't agree with them. We can only do what we can control. We have a circle of control. We have a circle of influence. If we cannot control the XYZ, and if we cannot influence the change of the XYZ, then we say that is outside of our control, outside of our influence. I recognize that it's happening. If it comes to a spot of my influence, then I will try to influence it. If it comes to a spot where I can control it, I will control it. But if it's not in either of those two circles, it is not for me to fret about right now.
That's a good way of actually thinking about. Okay.
Yeah. So yes, you acknowledge that this stuff is happening, but you don't sit there and just keep going. Don't put your energy there. Do not put your energy there. Put your energy on things that you can control and influence. That's where we need to put our energy. So then, other toxic things. Okay, and I am also guilty of this one.
What?
The streaming holes that we get into where we veg and sit and watch and don't move our bodies. So, you know, sometimes, some of these shows are really good, but when we sit and watch and we're not actually moving our bodies, that's not good either. So that actually can lead to toxic overload.
Yes. I only feel fortunate about that because I do so much stuff physical. Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, cool. I can sit here for a few hours and veg out and be fine because I'm about to go out there and do that lawn, or I'm about to do, like, there's a ton of stuff that I do physical, you know, but it's not as recreational physical that I do. That's the only thing that's different, but I'm like, still being very physical. But I definitely agree with you with that. Because it also opens up the door for all these other behavior patterns that bite us in the butt too, right? We sit there, I'm hungry. I'm gonna nibble a little bit. I don't feel like actually cooking. So I'm gonna go ahead and like grab something quick. And then it sits where it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna lay down all day. It's like, well, your body ain't meant to be in that posture, in that position for that long. Oh, I'm like, so it does open up the door for a few other things that we don't realize that it's like, that hurts us in other ways. So I do get that. A couple more before we move on to the next segment.
Other toxic over?
Yeah. Anything else you can think of?
Well, I think you touched on a couple. It's like the snacking, the endless snacking.
Yes.
I'm guilty of that one too.
Especially,
I will snack all day and not actually eat a meal.
Yeah. Especially if you're a person that food is tricky for you, right?
Yeah.
Your relationship with food is a little tricky for you. And I know, I'm a firm believer of this. I used to, when I used to personal train, I try to tell clients, right? Stop the idealistic way of trying to function as a human when you're trying to address behavior. Right? The idealistic way is that you're supposed to have such great willpower. First you learn how your body works, and then you learn what food is and what's not food and good quality food, and then you have the discipline. And I'm a firm believer in don't have it in your vicinity. Right? If you can't control, like for example, if you gave me a good sweet potato pie and put it on this table, I promise you I'm gonna cut a slice right now.
We told the people about you and your sweet potato pies.
And I don't have the self-control and discipline because I love it so much for a multitude of different reasons. So I refuse to allow myself to consume it. That's where my discipline come in. I don't have it in my orbit, so I don't have to fight through the temptation of it being right here in front of me and be like, no, I'm not gonna have another slice, or I'm just gonna have one little small slice, and you know what I'm saying, and that's it. And I'm seeing that sucker and it's talking to me, boy. They like, it's talking to me like a baddie too, like, ooh, you know what I'm saying, I like you. You want to slice. Like it's kind of.
You're having a moment right now.
I'm having a moment.
And you don't even have a pie in front of you.
That's how ridiculous I am. And so I just believe in this too. It's like, it's nothing to be ashamed of that you don't have the control to have what is tempting right before you and be like, I'm not going to partake. And I know people say that that's how you're supposed to be. F that. Just don't have it on the table. You know what I'm saying? Just don't have it in your house, right? Just don't lay that, like, I don't lay in bed because, you know what I'm saying, bed is for a particular purpose. And I don't want to learn to get comfortable laying in bed for me because I don't have the discipline to stay highly motivated laying and reclining in that spot. So I make a practice of just getting up and getting out of the bed so that I can not slip into being a procrastinator. Because I used to be a heavy procrastinator about everything.
Yeah.
You know, in my youth, in my early 20s. And I was like, this ain't working for me. I'm not a person procrastinate for a season and then I'm highly productive.
But you know what? The procrastination technically also is a toxic overload because there's people out there. God, I was guilty of that one too. Where you purposely procrastinate because that looming deadline, once it gets to a certain point where it's like, oh my God, I got to get it done, it gives you an adrenaline bump.
Oh.
So you're basically...
Oh, that's how my oldest daughter, that's how Stevie is.
You're on an adrenaline roller coaster because you wait and wait and wait and wait and wait until it forces you, and then you get an adrenaline surge.
I just got totally anxiety just for that description.
The anxiety
I like that.
And you think, and then it's like, and then you get it done, and then you have that endorphin rush of, ooh, I got it done just in time.
That
and
sounds
so then
horrible.
it becomes, it's like this vicious cycle that you wind up getting under because you think it's like, oh, I'm badass because I'm able to get stuff done at the last minute, right down to the wire. And so then you tell yourself lies.
Okay. I think that's a good way of stopping.
Guilty. I've done that too. Yes.
All right. So let's move on to our next segment.
Okay.
Our salty questions. We got 2 questions that, let's answer it, right? So we got it from a listener. They need tips on natural ways to boost energy and stay focused. What works for you?
That's hard for me because focus is not. I'm weird. Okay, so how do I stay focused? Let me think about that for a second. So I've tried. Okay, everybody's like, oh, write your list, keep a notebook. That don't work for me. I have notes everywhere. I've got notebooks. I've got my OneNote, digitally. I've got notes on my phone, which it helps in the sense of I won't forget to do it eventually, because eventually I'll go back and look and I'll be like, I was supposed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But really staying focused, no. But if it works for you, great. You're lucky. What do I do? What do you do?
Okay. I do lists.
You see your lister?
Right. I am a lister and I'm a deadline person. I refuse to leave something open-ended so that I can procrastinate on it. I require people when I was like, when do you want this done? Well, can you give it to me? I said, no, where's the specific date? I work better with a hard deadline because I hate failing. Yeah. I hate going back on my word. And I know once I say it, right? So the answer to your question is, how do I stay focused? Is that one, I have long ago identified what is my pitfalls that aid to me not being focused. And then what is my character traits that hold me accountable? And then I learn ways to apply that when it comes to tasks, right? So breaking my word is not acceptable to me. It holds me accountable. So I have to declare and speak things or tell other people all the time. I only do it because it holds me to account, because I know I hate the feeling of that I gave my word and I failed at that.
Yeah.
I misled. I wasn't true. You know what I'm saying? Someone look at me and like, I can't trust nothing that you say, because you said these things and you have not done any of those things, or you have not been there when I said whatever. That's so I tell people I'm slow to promise. But when I promise, I try my hardest never to break it. That's just how my care that. So then I was like, oh, I can keep it to just interpersonal relationships and with love or my kids and that, and be sloppy as heck with business and anything formal. And I was like, you know what? Let me tie that concept of that and pull that into business and everything that I do. Right? For example, like when you had to leave for your dad, and I said, I want to take care of this. I made a declaration and I bust my butt, right? Even though I repainted those steps like 5 times because it was something I didn't know I had to seal it. And so I was like, oh my God, I keep repainting these stairs. And I was like, when she come back from out of town, I want these stairs done because I declared that they will be done. So that what holds me focused and talk, and a list allowed me to visually see it, because I learned when I was divorcing or going through the divorce and finishing up my degree with the girl's mom, I kept stopping and starting with college. Mm-hmm. And this period I was like, I'm going to finish this degree. So what I realized I had to do was I had to put my goal and an affirmation, and I had to post it visually where I kept running into it, right? And so one of the mantras that I had at the time was fight for it. And so I did it. I was on my laptop all the time. So I made my wallpaper, right? Not just one little image saying fight for it. I made 1,000 little tiles of it. So wherever spot on my screen I looked at doing something, it was like fight for it, fight for it, fight for it, fight for it. Subliminally just keep telling myself fight for it, because I knew, like, if I were not approaching this thing with a tenaciousness of it, because my personal life were in shambles. My finances was in shambles. My world was turned upside down, and it was difficult. And I was like, but I still need, I want this other thing too. It required me to fight for it, not, okay, well, you get your degree in it. No. So for me, the answer to that is, to keep my focus, is find what is it that triggers my personality, my character, right? What burns my fire? What gets me, saying charged? What gets me saying, hell to come high water, I'm going to do, and then start applying that. Now the problem it happens is, for me, that is a very intense flame. Which you learn when we first got together. It burns people because I have to run hot in order to stay in there. But that's intensity. Sometimes it's hard for people to interact and deal with. So now I've been spending the last 3-4 years learning how to regulate or temper it. But I spent 15 years or so running blazing hot, because that's what motivates me. Lukewarm passivity doesn't stir me. But I had to learn, I had to accept that's how I am as a person, and my character, my personality. And then I had to say, everything falls with that lens. If I'm going to start accomplishing things with my life and hold my focus, hold my drive, right? And so, but some people need to breaks and escape to replenish, dampen their fire, find calmness and serenity, so that they can get back moving and going. I'm not saying my approaches work. It's really more of what is in your character that gets you going, that will force you to stay, like, I want to stay in it till I get it. And then apply it to all those areas that you normally don't like to apply it to, that you don't keep your focus in. And I believe that any person will see a world of drastic change. Now it comes at a cost sometimes, because you're going to start moving differently in spaces that you never moved before. And so people in those spaces it's going to be jarring to people that you are now having this different type of energy that they may have never seen, or they've seen it only in one small context. Now you're applying it everywhere. But, like some people are like, oh my God, you used to be so charred up, and now you just on a peace and zen. It's like, man, we can't get a rise out of this person at all anymore. Like, it can work in the other way, but that's what they need. They need peace in order to see things clearly and make calculated decisions, because if they run hot, they immersion, and it just tears up stuff. I'm like, they just can't stay in that state, because they burn up, and I can run hot and live in it. Some people need to cool down.
Yeah, I cannot.
And see, hot. and that's either approach is fine, as long as it keeps you focused and reaching your goal and all of that. And then you have to learn how to, at times, once you ascertain some of the things, how to temper it. And then the other side of it is that how to do that is that you lean on other people who care about and really see you, and not looking to marginalize you. They see you, but then they care enough to say, hey, maybe let's regulate, or let me show you whatever. And that you need, some other people too, to kind of help you to say, hey. Like for the longest, you was like, dude, you don't have to fight all the time, right? You got your sword and your shield out, and you ready.
Yeah, and it's like
And I
that's not
still,
even needed right now.
right? I can get ready. Like earlier today, we was talking, and I was ready. He was like, hold on. But now you learn how to, at first you didn't learn how to manage that very well. You like, you just and now you like, okay. And then it brought me down, and I was like, okay, let me see it with a different, because the fire is easy now to do, but it's also now is easier now to
Come down.
and then be more serene with a plan and strategy. So that's what works for me.
I wish I was as detailed as you were talking. I was still trying to think of.
I said all that, and you still like.
Well, no, I came up with something.
Tell the people in the back what you came up with. Tell the people in the back. Exactly.
Color coding my calendar.
Okay.
I know it's not as intense as yours at all.
No, but
I think you said something. You were like something about visual. I think it was when we were talking about the fight for it, and you visualize it, and it helps you. And I was like, oh yeah, I do color code my calendar. Mm-hmm. And it's like I have multiple calendars, and each calendar has its own color. And then sometimes I will color code specific things. And then I've even started doing that with the schedule for the employees too.
So basically, you let systems.
Yes.
Help you stay focused.
Yes. It's like where am I supposed to be right now? Mm-hmm. What am I supposed to be doing now?
So build a system, implement the system.
Build a system. And then
your systems.
Because I have all my calendars accessible on my phone. So when I look at my phone, it's like everything is there. And it's like, okay.
Convenience and systems.
And then if I'm on the computer, then I can see the different colors.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nothing wrong with it. Convenience and systems.
And so that way it's like even when I think about how I do the staffs, because I need to know where they are, where I've assigned them, which location, what time, are they a half day or a full day? I started color coding all of those. So it's like, it's very clear. It's like, here's your half days, here's your full days, here's headquarters, here's studio. So even if they're not paying attention, they should be able to look and say, oh, this is a different color. Wait a minute, that might be something different.
Yeah.
Color coding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, and systems,
yes.
They don't necessarily inherently, you like, Steven, dude, did you look? I'm like, I haven't looked at the connection.
I know.
So
wait a minute, we had the guy the other day. It was like, I'm like, yo, I see you got to the studio at 9:30, but I had you on for 10 and at headquarters. And he's like, oh, I didn't even look. My bad. I'm like, you just worked 30 extra minutes and at the wrong location. Come on over here.
Yes. So, all right, last question. How do you practice meditation in a sauna to help calm the mind? I'm going to leave that one for you.
But here's the thing. I mean, okay, so sometimes I do, sometimes I don't practice meditation in the sauna.
Okay.
Okay, well, no, wait, let me back up. I don't remember who said it, but they were like, meditation, are you thinking about something? You're meditating. And when they said, no, but for real, when they said that, I was like, that makes so much sense. And it kind of is true. Meditating means to think over something.
Yes. Yeah, it's just how it seems.
Now, clearing your mind is a completely different thing. And for most people, the clearing of the mind is, even harder to do. But I think when I'm in the sauna, to calm my mind, just this simple act of being in the heat and letting my, body just kind of like relax into it also helps calm my mind. Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily put on like a specific meditation or anything of that nature. Sometimes at most, if I'm trying to do more of a just relaxation, because I do tend to lay down. I like to lay down in the sauna.
Yeah, you small enough to do so.
Yes, and it's nice.
I
Put the
can't
towel down, lay down. So
I gotta go to the big one.
if I'm laying down, I may sometimes put on like, ocean sound, the waves crashing kind of thing, in order to just kind of have that white noise that helps me to slow my thoughts down. But honestly, 9 times out of 10, I might be watching my Bob's Burgers while I'm in there. So,
Okay. Well,
I mean, so when you think meditation, I'm more about the meditation part when I'm doing my yoga.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, and then I'm out of my mind, I'm in my body.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, to me, the difference. My mind is calm because I'm focused on my bodies and the movement and the breath.
Cool. Well, I think that was a good episode today.
You're not going to answer the question?
Because I don't meditate in the sauna.
Do you meditate at all? Yes.
When? Oh, better and better.
That is a guided meditation.
Okay, it's a guided meditation.
It's a guided
yes,
meditation.
We've been doing that morning and evening.
Yes.
And guided meditation. Other than that, yeah. But it's not.
But
I'm not opposed to it. It's just meditation in general. Like I ponder over stuff. So if you want to talk about just like thinking about something, yes, I do that constantly. I do that throughout the day. But in terms of how we traditionally kind of think about meditation, it's something that it doesn't feel very gratifying to do. Right?
Really?
Yeah, because like honestly, I get what it's supposed to do and the clearing and the peace and all of that, but I can find that in movement.
But
I find that in a certain some other ways in exertion where how athletes like in the zone or something like that. Like I can find that in sparring. I can find that like it's something about where like I am really not my body and my mind like it's just happening.
So then that's kind of how I said when I think that more about yoga. It's the body movement where you're truly in your body, you're not in your mind.
Yeah.
So if we were to say for the person that asked that, if we were to say, how do you do that in the sauna? Then you could do hot yoga in a sauna.
Yeah.
If you're a body person,
but you're just sitting still.
But if you're sitting still and you're just like, I'm trying to get zen and white noise.
Yeah, and I think it's nothing wrong with it. It's just not the modality in that way that works for me.
Yeah.
But I know many people. We have many customers, whatever, they would like shut down everything, lights, turn the TV off in there, and just be in a room. Yeah. And I'd be like, whoa, and they accept definition. Whatever. The only other time that is somewhat closer to that, I would say this, but not in a sauna, is in a float tank.
Yeah.
I do it in a float tank, but you also have no choice but to go there. Right?
Yeah.
It really is an environment where you literally have no other choice. Either you're in it or you're not. And so it's nothing else to engage in. All your senses are and you just there and you have to. And I do enjoy a float tank.
It's been a while since we've done a float.
Gotta do it again. Yeah.
I want to find the one with the clams. I like the clam floaters because
I never done
the big room.
I only did the big rooms.
See, and I don't like the big room because I feel like it gives me anxiety.
Okay.
I was anxious when we did that. I was like holding on to the wall.
See, for me, I like
because
that.
I was like,
I like that.
I don't know where I am right now, and it wasn't until the very end that I was able to let go.
Okay, so you.
But the clam, I'm like, you still have the weight, but it's like if you did this, you touch a wall, and it's okay, I'm cool.
I like to be.
I think my biggest fear would be like, I did that, I didn't touch the wall, and then I'd be like, oh my gosh, am I out of body experience or something? Like, what's going on?
Okay.
Like, I'm in space. What happened? The aliens, they done got me. They got me.
We got you.
I'm coming home, dear Elizabeth.
Oh, you so ridiculous. Okay, on that note, because she's about to take over with her shenanigans. On that note, we're going to call it in.
Yes.
Thank you for another great episode. Like and subscribe. Follow us on all of our platforms.
Send us your questions at contact at
Salt
Sauna Soul. Contact at saltsaunasoul.com.
All right, guys. Till next time.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Salt Sauna Soul, where wellness meets wisdom, one episode at a time. If you found today's conversation inspiring, helpful, or just plain soul-soothing, we'd love it if you'd share it with someone who could use a little more calm, clarity, or community in their life. You can listen and subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or watch the full experience on YouTube. Just search Salt Sauna Soul and hit that follow or subscribe button. It helps more than you know. Got a wellness tip, question, or a story of transformation? We'd love to hear from you. Drop us a comment on YouTube or leave us a review wherever you're listening. It keeps the conversation going. This podcast has been powered by Halo Heat Sauna Studios, where touchless wellness meets total restoration. Learn more or book your next session at haloheatsaunastudios.com. Until next time, breathe deep, stay warm, and keep nurturing your soul.